Anybody who read White Girl Bleed a lot knows about St. Louis. They know St. Louis is a center of black mob violence and black on white crime downtown, near the arches, near the ballpark, in the restaurants, in the theaters, and also in a little entertainment district called the Del Mar Loop, an upscale entertainment district that lots of cities have, kind of like Country Club Plaza in Kansas City. Hi, this is Colin Flaherty, author of Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. Here we talk about black mob violence, black on white crime, racial violence, all without racism, without rancor, without apologies. And so in St. Louis, here's the drill in St. Louis. This is kind of ground zero of denial. It's always like, well, however bad it looks like, it's really not that bad. Whatever that's happening doesn't really happen that often. And darn, how about those Cardinals? This is the drill. Especially at the Del Mar Loop, where for years, large-scale black mob violence has been a regular feature of life out there. But for years, every time they report it, there's always a reporter going, oh, no, this is not really happening. So it's not really that bad. And of course, never any mention of the central organizing feature of the people involved in the violence, black people. This time, over the weekend, they even pulled a new one on me. They came up with a new word for black mob violence. See if you can see what it is.
Well, Elliot, it is called team fighting. Groups of young people may represent a neighborhood or a school, and you guessed it, they get into fights. Now, police insist this has nothing to do with gangs. Last week, when one team fight broke out just down the street here on Del Mar, someone got shot.
Well, there was plenty of police presence last night. It didn't make them go away.
Outbreaks of violence in the Loop over the years like this seen from a few years ago are not unusual. Neighbors say things have gotten better, though. 91-year-old James Jackson has lived more than half his life here.
It's better now than what it used to be, because, see, they got more protection out here now than what they used to have. Used to be they didn't have all the police.
There were plenty of officers in this area Sunday afternoon and Saturday night. Still, that did not stop 200 young people from getting involved, some watching, some taking part in team fighting. Authorities say the size of the crowd was fueled by messages on social media. It's not good for business at restaurants and stores.
It unnerved some people with a group of 50 chasing a group of 10, and that's kind of some of the stuff that was going on. And at one point, we had 200 people trying to get at each other last night.
St. Louis City Police made 7 arrests Saturday night. One juvenile was firing a gun. No one was hurt. Joe Edwards says statistics show the Loop is the safest in 40 years.
If you look at this area, 99% of the time, you'll see nothing but happy people walking up and down the street. And that's what makes neighborhoods safe.
The instances of particular violence have been few and far between.
Still, 200 young people and team fighting have got to have folks worried. Police think once the word of at least 15 people arrested during the weekend spreads, the team fighting will go away.
I don't anticipate this going on all summer. I don't think it'll get worse. I don't believe it will.
Well, time will tell on that one, but people who do live in and around the Loop tell me that team fighting did die out last year.
A teen ambushed and robbed on the Del Mar Loop. The victim told St. Louis police he was approached at the Circle K gas station at Del Mar and Skinker. Jasmine Huda learning one of the suspects had a firearm on him.
This is from a couple of years ago on the Del Mar Loop. You can see big brawl, double shooting, lots of argy-bargy on the Loop. But even then, they were saying, oh, it's not that bad now. And by the way, it's getting a lot better. But to their credit, or to whatever reason, a lot of the media still allow reader comments on these stories. That is where you get the real story of what is happening during these large-scale episodes of black mob violence. You can read stories from comments from families in cars in panic while black people outside are pounding on their windshields, threatening them. You read personal testimonies from people who are assaulted, robbed, all in stark contrast to what we see and read in the papers and on local TV news. Covered this really well in White Girl Bleed a lot, and St. Louis got some attention and Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. But if it's this bad in St. Louis, what do you think the rest of the country's like?
Where's your team at? Where that nigga team at? Damn, cuz. Where your team at, cuz? Damn. Damn, cuz. Where your team at, cuz? Damn. Niggas running.
From the time I started making this video about an hour ago till now, I received 3 emails about recent black mob violence. One in Philadelphia, one in Virginia or North Carolina, and one from South Africa. I don't really do the South African thing that much because there's way too much of it, but this looked too familiar, so I thought I'd just put it in there. Hey, let's take a minute to talk about what we're doing with the videos here, and maybe what we're trying to accomplish and what you're supposed to be doing with them. Listen, I never really meant this YouTube channel to be a film society for the finest in interracial violence filmmaking. No, I've always been in my life. I've been a print geek, a writer. And, when I go into a room full of writers, I can hold up some this or that and say, you know what, here's why I not only deserve to be here, I deserve to be in the front of the room. If I go into a room full of, YouTube video makers, I'm not going to the front of the room, I'm going to the back in order to learn. But that's besides the point. These videos are really... Hey, do you guys remember that scene from I think it's Terminator 3 where John Connor and Claire Danes, whatever her name was, they finally made it to the shelter, and they're on the CB radio, and they're going, if you can hear me, you're part of the resistance. Well, that's what these videos are. They're not supposed to be highly polished whatever that we can submit to the Cannes Film Festival. They're supposed to be bits of information I can pass around to you guys, so you guys can pass them around and say, listen, there's something really bad happening in this country. That's what these videos are for. So that's what I would like you to do with them. I would like you to pass them around, tell your friends about them, send them to a talk radio guy, send them to Rush, send them to Savage, send them to Alex Jones. And don't tell me that doesn't work. That's exactly how we got on Alex Jones 3 times before. That's how we got on Sean Hannity, Jimbo Hannon. People just sending these stories, these links, these videos to their favorite talk show host with a little note saying, hey, you gotta pay attention to this. Of course they read that. Every once in a while, I can handle the trolls on this YouTube page. They're no problem to me. Because you know how we get rid of trolls? They'll come on and say, well, Colin, you're just making this up, or Colin, white people do this all the time too, or Colin, blah, blah, blah. There's only one way we get rid of trolls. We say, oh, could you give us a link to what you're talking about? I swear 99% of the trolls disappear after that.
And now you've got yourself something funky.
But what I have less patience, kind of like no patience for, are people who purport to be allies or friends of this page. All they want to do is slow things down, have a big discussion on whether, the music's a little bit too loud or too low. Yes, I know it's too loud. I'm fixing it. But we're not going to stop. We're just going to keep going as quickly as we can. The mountain we have to climb is so big. And so the question you have to answer is, what are you doing to help? Not whether Colin is the next incarnation of Stanley Kubrick. So let's make it happen. We're making a difference. I can tell you that right now. This channel's growing. The writings are growing. The book is selling like crazy. There's too much truth to tell here. But there are too many people still in denial about it. That's what these videos are. That's what Don't Make the Black Kids Angry, the book is. This is our most powerful weapon against the denial that is doing so much damage to our country, to our neighborhoods, to our family, to our relatives, maybe even to us. That's your mission. Carry it out. This is Colin Flaherty. Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. Talk to you next time.